I know I am too. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 9 Q&A Sunday morning. I'm your host, Ben Hassar. I'm joined by Sam. I will never pronounce Sam's last name just because Anthony butchers it, and it's so funny to me. So you will always just be Sam to me, just because I save that for Anthony and him
He's so
pronouncing it wrong, which is so funny to me. But
yeah.
we are here, Week 9. I can't believe how fast football's going, man. Already Week 9, so next week will be Week 10. We're heading into almost Thanksgiving season. Football season's flying by. As always, be sure to check out all of our free content, dfskarma.com. Sam has an ownership report that's up. That's a really good article, one of my favorite articles to read of the week. My content's up. Final Thoughts is free this week. So if you guys aren't a subscriber, you can get access to my Final Thoughts for free this week. It's on the website. Bill's articles are up as well. And then Joey did Game Theory. So tons of free content. Projection portal is updated as well. I was looking at that with Anthony this morning before we got on here. But I think this is a really interesting slate. I think there's a ton of ways to go. My biggest player pool is this week by far. Like I think you can make the case for a ton of people at running back and receiver. So you guys can go ahead and start dropping your questions into the chat. Sam, what is your thought? I didn't do any pods this week, so I don't know. What's your thoughts on this
I
slate?
missed you.
How are you kind of just attacking it?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it to you right before we came on. Like I haven't liked my cash lineup in a long time, so that's interesting. And that means I'll probably get burned or it's gonna crush. I don't know. I just think it's one of these weeks. I agree with you. My pool, I had to get it way down because I think one of the biggest mistakes is when you have a couple lineups and you have way too big of a pool. But I don't know. I think there's so much concentration, especially like there's a ton of good running back plays. And I think it's really easy to get off, at least in tournaments, not cash, but what the chalk's going to be. It's going to be Dalvin Cook, James Conner, Chase Edmonds, which all make sense and are great plays. But I think it's real easy to pivot. And, instead of, I think anyone who listens to this pod or is listening to any pod will be shocked to hear, like, I think the best leverage play off Dalvin this week is like, I'm stacking the Vikings pass game. Kirk Cousins, we know he sucks, but like, I don't know. I read an interesting article about the kind of defense he's facing. I thought it was fast. So I just think there's ways like that to get exposure to these games that people really like, but not play a guy who's 40%. But, I think the Vikings pass attack in total could be less than 10% owned. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it should be a pretty fun slate. I can't believe. So this is like kind of the opposite week because you're on Kirk Cousins. I'm on Matt Ryan. This is typically guys
Oh
that
my God,
we normally play. So it's funny.
No.
This is crazy. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun slate. Cash games are gonna be interesting. I don't know outside of Dalvin. You have like the Seattle guys, Edmonds. I don't know if like ownership's gonna be super high. Outside of that, I think we could see it spread out a little bit.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I think the only guaranteed chalk I assume will be like Dalvin, Lockett, and Julio probably.
Yeah.
And those all make sense. Alt, yep, yep, Alt, yep, thank you. Alt said Jefferson good leverage. He gets it. Let's go right now. I'm ready for the slate to start.
Yeah, dude, I had Jefferson and Final Thoughts. I think he's a good play.
Dude, his upside is just like, it's just insane. Like how his A dot is the crazy, and if he breaks free, like no one catches him. I don't know. I mean, Ben. I mean, I think we sometimes skip over because I'm not as much of a FanDuel player as you are. I mean, I don't know what you think about. It's obviously all up on our site about FanDuel and ownership and everything. I just feel like FanDuel, there's certainly similar to DK. There's a lot of chalk. I mean, do you think like the Steelers D is the obvious like must play on FanDuel given the fact of like the max 5K salary, or even though it's cheaper there than on DraftKings, would you still fade and go and punt to get other good skill positions? That's a question I always have with the defense over there.
Yeah, I do think that Steelers D will get ownership at 5K. I
Mm-hmm.
never spend up on defense, which obviously, I don't really think you do either. But I played the Chiefs D
Mm-hmm.
in cash last week, and they were
Yeah.
5K, and I just like instantly kind of regretted it after doing
Yeah.
like not even that the Chiefs did bad. It's just like it was like 110. So Lockett was like 10 minutes ago, and I was like, why did I pay
Yeah.
5K for a defense? So I don't think I can do it, but I do think they'll get ownership. So the only thing with that is they have the Texans at like 3,700, which I think is a good play, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
the Falcons, who are almost min price, who I think are a good place as well. But I do think the Steelers will get
Yeah.
ownership on FanDuel.
Ben, to confirm, am I the only one who can see the questions?
Yeah,
All
confirmed.
right.
I cannot see questions.
First one we got. This actually is a go. I expect we get this one a lot. Edmonds or Connor for cash on DK. I'm all in on Chase Edmonds. I don't care how. I mean, here's the thing. James Conner, the matchup couldn't really be better. He is good. I've said before, I think it's not talked about that he's like one of actually the only like true bell cows. And I'm talking about like, CMC is a bell cow, Dalvin Cook. Like he's one of except for the fact he gets leached at the end zone. I just think his upside is so much lower than Edmonds. I mean, Connor doesn't have that 30+ point explosion game. I don't think just how they run that offense. Whereas Edmonds is a little bit better than Drake, catches a lot of passes, is efficient. Miami's a total funnel defense. So for me, it's Edmonds. But I mean, I guess I see the Connor love.
Yeah, so I think if you were betting on one of those two to score a touchdown, you would bet on James Conner, but I think Edmonds is a better play on
Ben, who
both
do you think has the
sites.
higher
Dude,
floor? I think the floor.
Connor's like 8,200, 8,300 on FanDuel. Like he's
I
not
saw
a
that.
value at all. I think
Yeah.
Edmonds is a better play on both sides. What was the question you asked me though?
No, I mean, who do you say has the higher floor? I would say it's Edmonds just because it's receiving.
Yeah, he's going to be involved in the passing game for sure. I mean, he was involved in the
Yeah.
passing game with Drake active, and now you kind of take him
Mm-hmm.
off the field. I know that it was a mid-game injury, but Chase
Yep.
Edmonds didn't leave the field when Drake got hurt against
No,
Seattle.
I
So.
would say the same thing. It's not like he was getting like split carries of the rookie. Like it's not like that at all. Are we off Keenan Allen? Yeah. The thing is, so I mean, it sucks he's the later game. I think Keenan Allen is actually now a better tournament play. I mean, only because I don't know, he doesn't have COVID or whatever, and Keenan Allen plays through injuries all the time, and so it's not like I mean, I don't know how serious his sore throat is, but I think he's still an elite play whenever he's on the field because he's just such a. I mean, if he gets ruled out at the end, though, I think it makes for a great late swap opportunity. But I currently have Keenan in tournaments, not in cash.
No, I agree. I think he's a better play now too because anyone that was kind of considering playing him had to shuffle things around when it looked like he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going to play, and now that if he's going to play, some of those people won't move back to him, so it is going to naturally just lower his ownership a little bit. So,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think it makes him a better play.
What's up, Milan? Favorite cheap running back? I think the easy answer. I mean, Ben, who's yours? That's not Justin Jackson, who I think is probably the
Yeah,
best guy.
so I think Jackson's going to be chalk.
Mhm.
I was really excited to play Tony Pollard, but now it looks like Zeke's
I
going to
know.
play. So I guess
hate
if I was picking a cheap guy like on DraftKings, I think you take DJ Dallas or Antonio Gibson. I know you like Gibson a lot as
Yeah.
well. Like
I'll
I think
add in-
Gibson's going to smash today.
I do too. I love Gibson. I like pairing him with the Washington D. I think DeAndre Swift is interesting. Patricia is an idiot, obviously, and of course Adrian Peterson will probably get all those 3rd and 1 runs. But I think Swift is interesting that no one will play, and we've seen he can kind of break free on limited touches. and I bet you he's like 2% owned. So I think he's interesting too.
Yeah.
Is Eifert viable as a punt tight end? I mean,
So,
sure,
dude,
but
Sam and I have been debating punt tight ends all morning
I know.
because we were dead set on playing Pollard, and it would let
Mm-hmm.
us play like
Hunter
Hurst
Henry, dude.
or someone like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
dude, with us, we're not able to play Pollard now, so I might have to punt at tight end and play someone that I didn't even have in final thoughts at tight end, just
yeah,
because. I mean, last night I was certain I was going to play Pollard because it seemed like Zeke wasn't playing, but now if he's playing, that changes things. I don't know. I don't know if I would play Eifert. There is some interesting guys below 3K on DraftKings. I don't know. It's kind
yeah.
of a
I
guessing
probably
game.
I think you're just hoping if you can just get like a random touchdown from Albert O, Irv Smith. Who else is down there that sucks? I have no idea. I mean, it's just you're kind of just hoping to not get a zero, and maybe they just get a couple points. I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, that Pollard that sucked. I will say, if Zeke, I mean, Ben, would you say Zeke gets ruled out in the middle of the first slate of games? Would you keep Justin Jackson if you had him in cash, or would you wait swap to Pollard? I might go Pollard, honestly.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. I think that I don't know. I think it would come down to if I could move, like if I could move someone else up.
Mm-hmm.
But like by getting that, I think it's 900 on DraftKings.
Yeah,
Like by getting that $900, if I could move someone else up and like it, I would do it. But I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I guess I could. Yeah, the only person who could really move is like Edmonds.
Okay,
Fade
so
Dalvin.
wait, I got some news for us right here.
I don't think I'm chasing Dalvin. Yeah.
I got some news. So AJ Bouye already out for Denver.
Yep.
Their second
Yep.
corner Bryce Callahan also out as well. So I mean, if you needed any more incentive to go all in on Julio Jones, I mean,
I mean, I
what
think
else?
what was the stat I saw? It's like when not only like his points when Ridley's out. I don't think Julio's had under like 24 points or something, but I think his
16
target.
targets, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's
16
exactly that.
targets a game.
That's like just
This is insanity.
impossible. Yeah. I mean, if Julio blows up or like gets burned or doesn't do anything, gets hurt, I have no regrets. He's
Yeah,
the
I won't
absolute.
even be mad.
It's not even. I'm not even
But
mad.
this dude, this heightens Matt Ryan, bro. Just you have to make a Matt Ryan team, Sam. You are the
No, I mean,
Matt Ryan truther.
I'm gonna change now. Yeah, now I'm gonna play Matt Ryan, of course. You know I'm going to, and he's gonna get 2 points, and it's gonna be tilting. I mean, Ben, like, I'll just tell everyone, two of my quarterbacks, I always make 4 to 5 lineups. Two of my quarterbacks this week are guys I shit on all the time. I have a Derek Carr lineup, and I have a Kirk Cousins lineup. I mean, it's so bad.
Yeah, you hate Kirk, man.
Fade Dalvin, don't chase. Okay, I don't think I'm chasing a 50-point game. It just, yeah, you're not expecting that, but like you have to just, I mean, the matchup plus how the Vikings want to run the offense through him, plus, I mean, his uses is just insane. I don't think you're chasing with Dalvin. Chasing would be like, oh, wow, I just saw DeAndre Swift go off for 40 points last week. We got to play him next week. Like, that's chasing. But Dalvin is such an elite.
Yeah, I don't think you're like, yeah, he's not gonna score 4 touchdowns again. But
No.
I mean, there's no Kamara on the slate. Zeke is banged up and has not been, no Dak and banged up line.
In my
etc.
opinion, if he burns me with 3 points, I mean, I'm not taking the risk of he's going to be over 50% owned in cash at least. And if he goes off and you don't have him, you're kind of dead. So I don't really see the point.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to come in first place with your cash lineup, right?
Exactly. And I think of course, he's fadeable in tournaments. I mean, anyone who's going to be that high owned is
he's a fine fade on tournaments. FanDuel, I actually think it could be an interesting fade on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
He's over 9K. Like, I think Henry is an interesting play. I don't know if you like Henry. I know you hate Henry just in general.
No, trust me, I'm playing Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting pivot.
Yeah, he's going to be sub 10% on DraftKings because the Bears have a fine defense. It's not like they're, I mean, I wouldn't say it's their run D is shut down. It's like average.
Yeah, it's pretty average. I mean, Henry's good as a home favorite. You would expect them to be winning. They're going to just pound the ball with him. He's always a bet to score because he just gets the ball so much.
Yeah. No Ridley, no Allen. Well, Allen probably is going to play. Henry or Hurst, bigger upside. I don't know. I think Hayden Hurst is going to be popular. I get it. When I eventually go change my lineup to stack Matt Ryan, I mean, Hayden Hurst is fine, but I don't think he's like an auto smash. He just doesn't get the same volume that I expected he'd get this season.
Yeah, I don't think Hurst or Henry have huge ceilings.
Yeah, Henry, they don't. I agree. I think Henry has a higher floor. I mean, because he's had weak games the last couple weeks, but he's still getting the targets. He's just not scoring.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hurst
That's a tough choice right there. I think both will have ownership, but I think Hurst will be higher owned.
I think Hurst will be I think he's gonna be higher on than I expect. Yeah, as we were just talking, Chris T, Pollard, Lockett, or Judy, DJ, and Cash.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not.
If there's no Zeke news, I can't play Pollard and Cash. I can't.
Yeah, the thing is, I will say I was on DJ Dallas early. I'm not as on him as I've read a lot of reports about how Travis Homer like didn't practice at all last week and now has been practicing, and they also signed that other guy up. I don't know. DJ Dallas is fine, but it's not like he scored 2 touchdowns last week and he was on the field a lot, but I wouldn't say he was like insanely efficient.
No,
Granted,
he didn't look very good. He just scored touchdowns.
No, I don't know. I would much rather play Justin Jackson for $100 less.
Yep, I agree.
Giants D, yeah, I think they're fine. They're actually sneakily not horrible. The Washington offense is not great. Minnesota D, yeah, I'm off them because of Stafford playing. If Chase Daniel was playing, I thought they were a fine punt.
Yeah, I liked them if Daniel was playing, but now that he's in, yeah. I think we both prefer the Falcons, who are around the same price.
Mm-hmm. Alt. I'm loving Watson, Cook, Fuller running back with Chark. Everyone will play Robinson. I agree with that. It is tough though. Robinson, I get he'll be chalk, but he literally is just so much the offense. I'm not sure. I like Chark. I'm not sure I can trust that this guy who I know nothing about, Jake Watton, with like being able to get the ball to Chark. I have no idea. Yeah. I just don't know. It's like I'd rather play Robinson, who I think is going to be involved in the mad of the game script, and he's going to get a lot of dump offs.
Agree.
Ben, for you, or is Dallas still your punt play in cash?
Yeah, I think I like. Well, we like Jackson more, obviously.
I'm sorry, I meant Marcus Johnson.
Marcus Johnson. Yeah, I think he's probably like on DraftKings. I think you're probably playing him. As weird as that's like, it doesn't feel great to have him in your cash lineup.
No, it feels horrible.
Yeah, you're probably playing him. FanDuel, there's actually some interesting cheap guys on FanDuel. So there's 2 guys below 6K. Really like one, Jerry Jeudy is 5,700. I think you could play him in cash games. And then the other one, who I've come on late, I actually really like him at 5,500. Sterling Shepard with no Golden Tate. I think is actually. I think that's a really good play.
All right, nice. Ridley, not that we needed him, but Ridley is officially inactive. Thank God. That would have been very.
Yeah, that would have been tilting if they said he was in.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, it's funny. I was just reading about Shepard this morning. It's funny. Like the Washington D is really good, but it's mainly their run D and their front 7. It's not like their corners are shut down by any means.
No, and they're kind of banged up back there too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's tough because Daniel Jones is so bad, but like I don't know. I think Shepard is interesting. I don't really have any interest. There's one guy. I think it's actually Tate's sitting, right? He's not playing.
Yeah, Tate is out.
Oh man, that's wow. Okay, Shepard actually just got
he's pretty cheap on DraftKings too. He's under 5K.
DraftKings, I think he's 48. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's interesting. DeAndre Hopkins, Super Bowl. Yeah, that's interesting. I actually was going through that this morning. I agree that no one's going to play Kyler. I think because people think he's overpriced compared to like how they can get, a couple $100 and get Russ or Sean's right there. I will say Hopkins is always an elite play, but he is so expensive and he is matchup proof, but also the Miami corners are like pretty good. Like just for the record.
Yeah.
It's so not,
I mean, Hopkins, you can make whatever argument you want to play him. Yeah. Kyler, I think, is funny. People are like, well, Miami's so good against the pass. Why would you play Kyler? When Kyler smashes every week and like never gets 300 yards ever. Like what has he done it like once or twice the whole year? Like he never gets 300 passing yards, but still goes off. So.
Yeah, I mean, no, like I think Kyler he's such a high floor and ceiling. I guess it's just for me, I agree that like I would rather I'd rather play Deshaun or I'd rather get up to Russ. Personally. Marcus Johnson or Tony Pollard. Marcus Johnson, was he playing? Can you play Jordan Howard in cash? No. I mean, the matchup is not that good. Those guys, all those Miami guys suck.
Yeah, I'll pass on that whole
Yeah, I
situation.
get the price. But no. Oh, this is a good one. What about a Carolina stack? More Bridgewater or Anderson. For all the money. Yeah, I actually think Teddy. I almost was if I was playing like a few more lineups, I would have played Teddy. I think Teddy's really interesting in a game they should be trailing. The KC pass defense is good, but I think it's to be very well owned. And yeah, I mean, it's a very concentrated offense. You know where it's going. I will say, I think you can pretty safely assume with CMC back that the projection for Moore and Anderson definitely takes a hit, but I think it's interesting regardless. I think that's a fine Contrarian stack.
Yep.
Carr versus Locke on DK.
Oh my god.
It's weird.
I would prefer Locke, I think, but I understand why you would take Carr.
I would play Carr only because he's not been as bad as I thought he is, and I think the matchup is actually sneaky, like way better than people realize. The Chargers have kind of been torched by QBs. I mean, they just got wrecked by Locke, but don't look as very good. They got beat pretty good by Gardner Minshew. Like, it's not like they just lost Desmond King. I don't know. I just don't think. And isn't Bosa going to miss too?
Yeah, I haven't seen any confirmation on that, but I'm assuming a concussion would mean he's not going to play. So he's probably out, and they lost Desmond King. So the matchup did improve significantly.
Yeah, and I think with how good Herbert's been and how bad the Raiders' defense is, I think I could see it. Like, they got to keep pace. But Locke, I get. I mean, the Falcons' D is god awful too, so I get it. I would probably choose. Then would you go Locke or Stafford in season long? I'd go Staff. Even without.
Yeah, I would play Stafford.
I mean, the Vikings D is like really bad.
Yeah, and it's not like Stafford's older, has injuries anyways. Like, how much does he practice throughout the week anyways, you know?
Exactly right. He takes a day or two off anyway. And he's like, since he didn't actually have COVID, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Claypool cash? No. Dude, Deontay Johnson, I said this in my article. He always gets hurt, and I don't even care. If he doesn't get hurt, he literally smashes every week.
I know.
He's on 5,000.
He's like the Anthony Davis of the NFL, right? Like, just gets hurt every game.
So annoying. In DK cash, you're looking at spending up for QB and playing one high-end receiver and one mid, or spend down a QB and get two high-end. To be honest, I'm spending up a QB and
So Sam, you and I, you mentioned it right before we started this, but you and I never really get to play Russ in cash. I think we're riding that out this week finally.
Yeah, I don't know how I can pass up that opportunity. Justin Jackson over Gibson in cash, yes.
Yeah, cash, yeah. Tournaments, dude. So Gibson, people were forgetting because they had the bye week last week, but he's coming off a career high in touches. And I tried to use this narrative with Jonathan Taylor the other week. It didn't work, but there is positive historical data with rookie running backs coming off their bye week in the first game, and we saw it with DeAndre Swift. So we're 1 for 2 this year with it happening, and I think like he already was taking over even more before their bye week. So yeah, I think Gibson's
wasn't Dobbins last week? Weren't they just on a bye?
Yeah, and I mean obviously that was boosted from Ingram being out, but I mean Gibson is so good, man. It's not even like Taylor, I'm the biggest Jonathan Taylor fan in the world. He hasn't looked that good. Like he has struggled, right? Antonio Gibson looks electric when they give him the ball.
I agree. Dual threat too. Is Philip Lindsay out? No, he's playing. I just saw it.
He's active.
Minutes ago. Julio or DK Metcalf and GPPs? Probably Metcalf, just because he will be so low owned. I'm funny.
Shocked that nobody wants to play DK Metcalf.
It is funny, yeah, because Trey White is obviously a shutdown corner, but I think it was I don't know if it was Peter Jennings or maybe it was Drew Dinkmeyer was saying they're like, okay, yeah, Trey White's really good, but you're lining up against freaking DK Metcalf. Like, have fun. Like, the man's a freak.
Yeah, Pro Football Focus had his numbers in single coverage. He's first in yards and has scored 7 touchdowns in single coverage. So I mean.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not as elite of a matchup as normal, but like I don't know. I mean, do I prefer Lockett? Yes, and since it's obviously an odd week, it's now Lockett time. But I don't know. Single entry stack: Baltimore Indy or Seattle Buffalo. Seattle
Seattle
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah. I don't like that. Like my favorite play in the Baltimore Indy game would just be to bet the Ravens. Like I don't love a
Just
ton there.
because like Indy, we know how slow they play and they want to run the ball. Ravens also are so slow. Like that game is so boring. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I would not. It's the first time we've ever not agreed. I would not do Baltimore stacks run back with Johnson. I mean, well, on the other hand, I mean, I think it's viable to play Lamar and Mark Andrews because they're not going to be owned.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I want. I would only do that if I'm playing like 20 plus, probably.
Yeah. I don't like Johnson at ownership outside of cash, like just punting him in
Yeah.
cash.
Ben, would you go Dobbins or Dallas for season long PPR? Probably DJ Dallas.
Yeah, that's tough. I think Dobbins has a little more upside catching the ball.
Too.
I don't know. That's
But
a tough one.
I don't know. The matchup for DJ Dallas is definitely
Yeah, it's
better.
definitely better for sure. But I also think J.K. Dobbins is just way better than DJ Dallas.
I agree. Do you guys think stacking? Do you like stacking Stafford or Cousins more? Oh, dude.
I think Kirk can have a big game.
I do
I like
too, and
him.
it's such a good matchup.
Stafford has these negative splits without Galladay. People are kind of forgetting this.
That's exactly. I was going to say, like, without Galladay, it does make such a massive difference.
Yeah.
Christian Blake or Marcus Johnson? Definitely Marcus Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson.
I mean, because he basically the reason why I think if people don't know why he's going to end up being chalk, it's because with Ty probably out, Paris Campbell's out. I mean, like he's basically he's like now in an every down role. Like he just has to be. Now, will he get the ball or a lot of catches? Who knows? But Christian Blake is not like a lock to be on the field that often, is my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like Judy for DK Cash? I think he's fine.
I think he's fine if you want to play him.
He probably is. He's pretty due for some really positive regression. I mean, he led the entire league in air yards last week. So it's a matter of who can get him the ball. Cheap wide receivers. We made a bunch. I think like if I was to name 3 or 4, if you Marcus Johnson, I think Marvin Hall is interesting. That does feel like point chasing, but he is going to be on the field. I don't know if this counts as cheap. I really like, despite if he plays, I really like Mike Williams this week. Like I really like Mike Williams.
Yeah, I have no problems with Mike Williams.
And then I also think a sneaky play, which people are not going to be on. Everyone likes the Texans. I don't think anyone's going to play Randall Cobb. And he obviously his ceiling is so low because he's not like an explosive player and he's old. His targets have been like a lot in the last. And Jacksonville is like, I think the worst or the second worst against slot receivers in the entire league. So I think it's kind of interesting play. What about you, Benjamin?
No, I think I kind of agree with what you said. So hold on. Okay, this is an interesting question because someone just asked me about playing Matt Ryan in cash.
Don't even do it. Don't get me up.
Man, I mean, I don't think you have to do it, but I don't know, man. So they obviously the game's up to a 50 over under. You're already playing Julio. The Broncos are now down their top 2 corners. It's in the dome. I don't know. I mean, you could make a case for it, I think.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be a bad play. I just know I would rather play Russ.
I guess it would just depend what you can do with the money, I guess.
I know, dude, and like not to mention, dude, Russ has been running so much.
Yeah, he has.
Is it better? God. Okay, Logan Thomas or Albert O on FanDuel, Ben? I don't even know.
I would play Logan Thomas.
What about Ebron on FanDuel? Is he cash playable? Ebron does have a matchup. By the way.
Yeah, he's cheap. He's fine. If you're taking a cheap tight end, you're literally just hoping that they just somehow score a touchdown because none of those guys are gonna, catch the ball a ton.
So I saw this one in Discord. I noticed a couple times. I mean, would you play Justin Jefferson in cash? Probably not. I just feel like he's so pretty expensive. I mean, his range of outcomes is so big for a cash player, in my opinion.
There's just too many guys at receiver in that price range that you would want in cash. But I like him in tournaments a lot.
Carlos, I think we already answered. Yeah, for single entry, Baltimore, Indianapolis, or Seattle Buffalo, I would definitely go Seattle Buffalo, even though it's a chalky game. It's such a better spot.
Yep.
Ben Jefferson or Robbie Anderson? I'd go Jefferson.
Jefferson, yeah.
Godwin off injury or Slayton against tough Washington D. I would choose Godwin. That sucks though.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just ride Godwin, I think. But man,
Yeah.
they're gonna just feed AB. Like it's coming.
I know, right?
Like it's coming, dude.
It's gonna be like the Brady AB Gronk show. It's gonna be like those fucking Patriots a couple years ago.
Yep.
I feel like nobody's talking about Allen Robinson. I agree. Allen Robinson's kind of an elite play every week that no one talks about. He's just so hindered by how bad Foles is, which sucks. Is the chalk going to be Cook, Jackson, Edmonds? Yeah, I think so.
Probably, yeah.
Ben, FanDuel single entry. Should I pay up for Julio and play Justin Jackson or play Henry and Judy?
Pay up for Julio.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have to play Lockett in cash if you end up playing Russ?
No, you don't have to in cash. Tournaments, you would want one or both of them. But if you can play him naked in cash. It's fine.
Mecole Hardman, thoughts with Watkins out? I prefer Demarcus Robinson, to be honest. It's kind of a toss-up, though. It's so annoying. Like, one of them catches a bomb every week. I don't know who it's going to be, but
yeah,
I think Demarcus Robinson plays more snaps, but I can't be sure.
Yeah, he does.
I have to look it up. Why is no one talking about the Herbert stack after the Keenan news? Yeah, I mean, dude, Herbert continues to be. I think this week he might finally have ownership because he's been such a stud. But I don't know, Ben, do you think that downgrades him somewhat if Keenan were to not play? Because I mean, Keenan gets so many targets.
No, I don't know. I think if there was a chance that Herbert was going to get ownership, it might have decreased when we thought Keenan wasn't going to play. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, there could just be more incentive to play Herbert, Keenan, and then you can run it back with Jacobs. You can run it back with Waller, either one. Like, I think that's a fine stack, honestly.
Full PPR, pick one for flex, Cobb, Bell, or Chenault. I think Ben's going to say Chenault. I would actually pick Randall Cobb, which sounds gross.
You can use Cobb. I don't mind it.
Dude, it's so annoying. Le'Veon Bell, like, I was saying this to someone, like, he's basically made – the Chiefs now just made both of their running backs useless for fantasy. Like, it's not like one – like, now they both just are not good values in any way, which is so annoying. But what are you going to do? Damn, Ben, another Tyler Eifert punt question.
I would rather play Irv or Alberto or someone like that and hope that they score.
Melvin Gordon, I never will play Melvin Gordon. I don't even care. I don't care. I think he's so bad. Like, terrible. The news of Denver, yeah, Ben, this is what we were just talking about. Is it okay to go Julio and Hurst together in cash with Lee now out?
Yeah.
And Denver corner?
Yep. I think you can do
it's interesting. Yeah, we said Mecole Hardman, not really. Is it Metcalf or Lockett week? Dude, it has to. I mean, if it's not Lockett week, like, there's a great slot matchup. DK's against Trey White. Like, come on. Like,
it's both.
DJ Dallas cash play. He's fine. I expect he'll have a lot of ownership. I would just rather go Justin Jackson. Because isn't Pope not going to play either?
Yeah, Pope is out.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I don't know. They clearly like Justin Jackson better than Josh Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly's just been fumbling. So
yeah. Chase Edmonds or James Robinson? That's a tough one. I love James Robinson.
It's probably Edmonds in cash, but I mean, I still like Edmonds in tournaments too, you know?
I think both are like really elite plays. Yeah, Mark Andrews is interesting. It's weird. Like, his price is so low, but he still has the most red zone targets of any tight end in the league. He's still Lamar's favorite target. And despite Indy actually, they've not given up a tight end touchdown this year, but Mark Andrews is definitely better than I think the tight ends have been facing. So I think he's a good tournament play. Doesn't look like, I don't know what this means. Doesn't look like Ryan gets you off Johnson if that was the reason.
What? Yeah. So I agree with that. I think they made, like, if you dropped Matt Ryan, like if you dropped Russ to Matt Ryan, you still would probably have to play Marcus Johnson. So
exactly, that's the thing. It's like, that's what I think about all the time. It's like, okay, say I'm like, okay, well, I'll just play Deshaun instead of Russ. Like, what is that $500 really getting me?
Yeah.
Like, because to upgrade the tight end to someone I actually like, I need like $1,200 or something like that, or same with the wide receiver. So Brandon Cooks in cash. If you're playing Deshaun, I think he's fine
Yeah,
in cash.
he's fine.
Um, choose 2 Julio, Keenan, Lockett. Julio Lockett.
Yeah, it's probably Julio Lockett, but
I have a
I mean,
feeling I know what you're asking for.
yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing though. Like, I will say, like, just because we prefer them, I would never like talk anyone off of Keenan and Cash.
yeah. That's
With
you can't go
with
wrong
his,
with either. It's truly like
yeah,
this isn't an answer, but it's truly whoever you like the best. But I think Julio is a must. So it's just whoever you
I
like of Lockett or Keenan better.
yeah, and it's like I think they both have like they all 3 probably have the similar upside, similar floor, and similar volume. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Um, with Allen or Diggs, FanDuel Cash, Ben.
Um, I would say, yeah, it's tough. I might take Diggs for FanDuel Cash. I feel
Yeah.
Allen's seems a little bit better on DraftKings, where he's gonna just rack up some catches. So I might take
Dude,
Diggs.
Diggs is so expensive on DraftKings, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
get it, but man, he is like really expensive. I don't think he's a very good value at all. Without Cooks at Ben, would you go Cook or Kamara? Probably Cook, dude. Kamara's matchup is like not the best, but he's
Yeah,
so
I would take
used.
Cook. Michael Thomas is back as well, I think.
Mm-hmm. What's the key that fits top cash plays? I have Marcus Johnson. I need a little more. Basically, you just have to decide like where you have to basically decide where you're kind of trying to punt and you're okay with getting a low score just because, I mean, just because it allows you other people. So, like for me, I think Ben, like tight end is such a wasteland, especially this year. Like if you're not playing Kelsey or Waller or any of these top guys, you might as well just punt down because I think all the guys that are 3,500, let's say, and lower have probably the same chance of catching a touchdown and getting a few catches. So you might as well pay down. And defense is so random. I mean, last week I got lucky because I played the Dolphins D in cash. I thought it was a fine matchup because it was Goff on the road, but like I'm not counting on them getting 2 touchdowns and 1,000 turnovers. But that's just like it's why it's not really worth it to pay up for defense and cash, in my opinion. So that's kind of how I try to save money. I'm not sure if you have anything to add,
Yeah,
Ben.
no, I mean those tight ends is like Russian roulette, but just pick one, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. It's a weird week. It's a weird week.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Favorite run back option on Denver? Probably for me, it's actually Fant, but it's probably Judy.
Yeah, I like Judy.
Hawkinson, Hurst, or Henry?
I don't mind Hawkinson. I think he'll be the lowest owned of those three, honestly.
I do too because he feels overpriced. But with Galladay out, that definitely moves up his value a ton. I'd say I'd probably rank Hawkinson, Hurst, then Henry, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ben, are you fading? Is fading Cook on FanDuel okay? He said run Dallas, Edmonds, and Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can. It's just like for cash, it's tough for me to fade like the easy, expensive running back on FanDuel because you need touchdowns, right, on FanDuel, because it's not PPR. And I would say that Dalvin and Derrick Henry are probably the two like likeliest players to score on this slate. So
Yeah.
it's tough for me not to play Dalvin in cash. In tournaments, yeah, you don't have to play Dalvin at all in tournaments.
And I love this question. DK GVP, Croft or Greg Olson or neither? I would say neither. That was hilarious.
Probably neither, but I guess if you were picking one of them, it would be Olsen.
Isn't Dawson's playing, right? Dawson not playing,
Yeah. Dude,
yeah.
Look at these tight ends, man. These guys all suck. It's not actually some of them are good. They just don't get on the field.
By the way, Seattle weirdly like doesn't give up points to tight ends. I don't know why.
Yeah, and they have and then if you want to say the argument for Olsen, like Will Disley is still like a thing that's there.
Yeah, and they have another guy too.
Yeah, it's a mess, dude.
Third guy. They have Hollister.
Yeah, so they got the trifecta.
Damian Harris or Devin Singletary, Jerry Jeudy or Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay, so Judy and then Wow.
I would probably go Damian Harris.
Yeah, I would take Harris and Judy, I think.
Did Singletary just that Zach Moss is like so
Yeah, and then
accurate.
Josh Allen, if they get to like the 2 or like the 3,
He's right.
Josh Allen's
Exactly.
gonna try and run it in anyway,
Yeah,
so doesn't matter.
exactly. What else? What else? Stop stressing. Mon, stop stressing about tight end punt plays and play Mark Andrews at 4,800. Okay, so then where
Yeah,
else am
but
I?
I gotta move someone down if I do.
Yeah,
Like
and then
if
who
I
am
could
I?
play Pollard, that would be maybe a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just like Andrews. It's not like his matchup is still like literally the hardest one in the
The
league.
sad part about this, yeah, what I don't think the Colts have not allowed a touchdown
They
to
haven't.
tight
They've given
ends
up
the whole
0
season.
touchdowns to tight
That
ends.
is
I mean, they're
insane.
averaging. Let me check. They literally average per game.
I mean, that's insane, dude. But dude,
They
like,
give up.
how
They give up an
sad is it?
average 6
How
points.
sad is it that we would think that someone that's like 3K or less could score the same amount as Mark Andrews? Like, how sad is that?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I just looked it up. If you look at the full season, on average, they've given up 6.7 points to tight ends. So
Yeah,
4,800.
it's
That's
really bad.
Sterling Shepard and Cash. Not for
Yes,
me.
I think he's fine, especially on FanDuel. I think he's fine on both sides, though. Honestly, I actually really like him.
Um, GP wide receiver on DK below 4K. Besides Marcus Johnson, who should be popular, I'm going full punt. I'm playing David Moore like an idiot. I like Marvin Hall, kind of, even though I'm definitely
Yeah,
chasing.
I think David
Um,
Moore is an interesting one.
yeah, I mean, he could get 0 or he could get a couple. I don't know. My super punt, which I think is hilarious, is Jakeem Grant at 3,000. I mean, it's literally what him, Preston, because he's gonna be on the field a lot. It's now him, Preston, Dante Parker. I don't know. I mean, he'll get weakest coverage at least.
Gesicki, man.
Dude, why is he not? Did they just like hate him now? Like, what is
Yeah,
the
well,
problem?
he like exclusively plays in the slot, and now they traded their slot receiver. So I would assume that he's gonna play more this week, but I have no
No, like we're too
actual
busy
idea.
throwing to Durham Smythe and
I
Adam
know
Shaheen.
Shaheen. I don't know, man.
Is DJ Dallas safe? I mean,
Uh,
define safe.
I don't think he's safer
I,
than Justin Jackson, who's cheaper. But I mean, I don't think he's a bad play. I don't think he's
yeah.
as safe as he was like last week. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last couple questions probably here, Ben.
Yeah.
I don't know. This week this is a weird one. I swear
This
to
is
God,
a
I
weird
know.
week.
I already know. It's gonna be like 30 minutes for the game, and then Pollard's gonna be named starter.
Yeah, and we're gonna be SOL because I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Best QB play for cash games. I think any of Russ, Allen, Deshaun up top. If you want to go punt, you can play Drew Lock, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's Russ this week, dude.
I think for me it's Russ. Ben, Josh Allen or Watson cash on FanDuel.
Oh man, I think I would on FanDuel. I think I would take Allen. On DraftKings, I would pick Watson.
I like that.
I feel more confident in Watson getting you 300 yards on DraftKings, but I mean, FanDuel, it doesn't matter. So,
dude, Josh Allen has just not been that great. I mean, the matchup is prime now, but I don't know.
if he doesn't have a game this week, what are these? Like, I don't know what there is to really say about it, dude.
If he doesn't have a good game, obviously it's Matt Barkley's season.
Oh man, but they also have that racist guy, right? Jake Fromm.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They can roll. They can roll him out from the practice squad or whatever. I guess.
All right, Ben. Questions have slowed down. I think that may do it. Right? Yes, maybe so.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. We appreciate all the questions. Like I said, dfskarma.com, tons of free content, free projections. Still time. There's an hour. You can pick up a core plays package. I know a couple people messaged me that signed up last night. I'm actually fairly confident in this week, as weird of a week it is.
Yep.
And I mean, dude, you guys got to get in now because Thanksgiving's coming, and there is no greater time than football on Thanksgiving Day. That's nothing. So, thank you guys for watching, and good luck this week.